me not mess that up. Hi, my name is Linda Schwarzbach. I'm the Artistic Director here at the Lab. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the first of our 3 concert readings. As you probably know, we read hundreds of scripts this season that were submitted for our Louise Wigglesworth Excellence in Playwriting Award. And Dan Borengasser's show that you're going to listen to tonight, The Kindness of Strangers, is one that we all so enjoyed on our play selection committee. There were 9 or 10 of us, and some of the decisions were difficult. This one was not a difficult choice. It is so fun and smart and has unexpected twists and turns that I hope that you will enjoy. I do want to kind of paint the picture for you a little bit, because normally when you are coming to the theater, you're going to see a fully fleshed out show. And we understand coming to the theater that there's a proscenium arch, that the actors are cheating out to the audience. There are certain things that we do in the theater that we've all kind of accepted, right? How a show is going to go. So staged readings, or in this case, the concert reading, is a little bit different. The actors are not blocked, meaning they're not going to be walking around the set. They don't have their lines memorized. They're going to be using these music stands, and the scripts are going to be on the music stands for them. Also, our director, Casey Davis, will be sitting on the side and reading all the stage directions. Stage directions are things that normally in a production would give the production team an idea of who's moving where, who's stepping in or out, who's pouring someone else a brandy and passing it to them, any other of those devices that are needed to build and flesh out a full production. So we're going to read the directions for you so you get a better idea of what's happening. You're welcome to just close your eyes and listen to the entire show. But the actors are acting behind their music stands. It's just not going to be as fully fleshed out as you would see in a fully staged production. You'll have an opportunity to chat with some of the actors and our director, Casey Davis, afterwards. They'll be milling in and out if you have any questions. And Paula Sisk, who is our Director of Education, is in the house here as well. And I have to applaud her because she's really been instrumental in making this entire new play contest a success. It's a lot of work to put this together, interfacing with playwrights and directors and actors, making sure that we have scripts, making sure rehearsal spaces are ready, making sure directors have everything that they need, and that the playwrights are happy. Because the goal for the concert reading is for the playwright to have several days of workshopping and all the tools they need to ultimately publish their script as a final finished product. So we want to work with them as much as possible so that at the end of this process, they've cut what they need to cut. They've made the changes they need to make. They've made the additions that they need to make. And they've heard their script aloud at least 3 times. So that they're ready to get that script so much closer to being published, or it's finally ready to be published with our help. And so that's our goal. And it takes a lot of work in interfacing. So many thanks to Paula Sisk and our entire team for making this happen. And thanks to you for being here for a brand new show. And you may even see it on our stage in the next couple of years. So we always love it when our audiences come out for brand new works and are supporting the production and growth of brand new works and the creation of art. So thank you all so much for being here, and I'll be glad to chat with you after the show. Thank you so much. The Kindness of Strangers.
The Kindness of Strangers, Act 1, Scene 1, Sunday evening, 7 p.m. The cafeteria of Swan Health and Rehab, an independent living facility for elderly and indigent actors. The room consists of 6 4x8 tables and chairs. On one of the walls is a bulletin board. Actress Olivia Stiles, 80, pushes wheelchaired actress Helen Larson, 81, in from center left. The two are playing a game, guessing the quote from Tennessee Williams' plays.
I have always depended on the kindness of strangers. Cripes, Olivia. Is that the best you can do? Blanche in Streetcar. Time goes by so fast, nothing can outrun it.
Give me a hand.
No.
Come on, Helen. Just a little one. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
No. Not when we're betting tonight's tapioca pudding.
All right. Be that way. It's okay. It's Tom from Glass Menagerie.
Sorry, old girl. Big Mama from Hot Tin Roof.
Shit. I even played that once.
Played it and couldn't guess. Goodbye, memory. Hello, Alzheimer's.
Heather Barkley, 27, a therapist at Swan, enters from Upstage Center and thumbtacks a notice on the bulletin board.
No, but I like you.
No.
Me neither.
Ooh, really nasty, Olivia. Then come to me. That's high praise. Well, Heather, sneaking around with midnight nose.
It's only 7 o'clock, Mrs. Larson.
Taking a point. What's this one about? New preparations?
You may absolutely find this interesting. There's going to be a play produced at Swan Rehab.
You're kidding. A play? Has that ever happened before?
Not as long as I've been here.
Who's the director? Jason Rivers?
I don't think so. Yeah.
How can we tell?
It's someone named Darren Fisher, a grad student in an MFA program.
A grad student. I had 2 Tony nominations, for Christ's sake. And now my father for some schmuck's masterpieces.
Come on, Helen, that'll be fun.
Fun. Haven't you gotten it through your head? There is no more fun. We're just hanging around out of the way, waiting to die. Which some accept more than others. I hope this is invented.
What is that supposed to mean?
None. Just that some people die reality by applying their makeup with a spatula.
What are you talking about me?
Look at you, this.
I take care of myself. What's wrong with that?
You're not Blanche's streetcar. All made up, classy, but a quarter past your prime and mad as a friggin' hatter.
Yeah? Well, you're Dulcinea in La Mancha, a biddle run-down whore.
My compliments, Olivia. You are on today.
Why don't you two try out? There's a meeting tomorrow morning for anyone interested.
Oh, but what's the play?
It says Shakespeare.
Shakespeare's a playwright, honey, not a play.
Thanks, Mrs. Larson. But I do know the difference. The memo doesn't say. Guess you'll have to go to the meeting.
That'd be great. I had a thing for Shakespeare.
Olivia, darling, you had a thing for anyone in pants. But till now, I thought they at least had to be alive.
Well, since being here, I've lowered my standards.
Scene 2, Monday morning, 10 a.m. The cafeteria. Darren Fisher, 31, dressed in jeans and t-shirt, stands before a group of Swan residents seated erratically around the cafeteria. Helen, Olivia, Forrest Randolph, Wallace Stedman, Jessica Warren, James Goliath, Sarah Ryden, Faye Goslin, and Robert Barrow.
I'm Darren Fisher, grad student in the university's MFA program. My MFA project is to direct a Shakespeare play here at Swan.
You ever direct a real play before, honey?
Yes, many times.
I mean, with real actors, not a bunch of moist undergrads.
Well, I certainly feel
Oh,
that.
leave them alone, Helen. If you're not interested, fine. Still make the experience miserable for the rest of us.
As usual.
Hey, I'm flattered he chose our withering group of has-beens for his little experiment. I just want to know what to expect.
Respect and total professionalism. That's what you can expect.
Oh, My two favorite qualities.
But before we go further, how about some introductions? You first, please.
Helen Lawson, star of stage, screen, and television.
You wish.
Okay, stage.
And you.
Hey, Dawson. I did a Broadway play.
Mostly road shows, playing at packed houses in Tulsa and the Quad Cities. So you'll have to forgive her just a little bit. What play are you thinking of doing, by the way?
Some Shakespeare.
Some Shakespeare.
Yeah. Any suggestions?
Yes.
Good. What?
I suggest you actually pick the play you want performed, like a real director, instead of opening up for a free-for-all.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Don't worry. I know the plays. I can handle any one you choose.
Think so?
Yes. And you are?
Jessica Warren. And if you know an iota about musical theater, you'll know what I've done.
Jessica's one of the few of us in here who has a top-notch resume, which is why she's vain and damn near insufferable. On occasion, most of the time she's sweet as can be.
No, she isn't.
You're right, she isn't.
Wallace Stibb, tall restoration comedy at Midwestern University, Congreve, Wycherley, Dryden.
Till he had an affair with a co-ed and ended up doing Chicago dinner theater.
Not a bad trade-off, actually.
Out, brief candle, lights but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and fronts his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Who knows, Robert? No one can touch your Macbeth. Allow me to introduce Robert Barrow, classically trained, a lot of Shakespeare, currently having a little flirtation with D-E-M-E-N-T-I-A.
I know what that means.
Of course you do, but they don't.
Olivia Stiles, more than 30 years of television experience.
Mostly the soaps. Olivia's like a pound puppy, but we love her in spite of her lack of a pedigree.
I'd still like to know what play we're doing.
Which would you prefer?
How about Midsummer Night's Dream? Forrest could play the Fairy Queen.
You mean the Fairy King?
You don't know Forrest.
Bitch.
How about Lear?
Oh, no.
Okay, Othello, perhaps.
No tragedy.
Fine, but they're the most powerful.
I think Faye feels that she's had her fill of tragedy. Right here.
Most of us agree with Faye on that one.
We're sort of a tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight kind of group.
Who sees this production? A few students and your steering committee?
Anyone. It'll be advertised in the paper and open to the public.
Ought to be the social event of the season.
So what play will it be then?
Tempest.
Oh yes, let's do Tempest. I read that one.
Tempest, huh? If I remember correctly, yeah, there are more than 15 parts and only one main female role.
Well, if you also remember correctly, all the parts in Shakespeare's day were played by men. No reason we can't reverse that. The women can play the men.
Tit for tat, so to speak.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds sexist and disgusting.
Thank you. James Goliath, theater, mostly New York, some Broadway.
As in off-Broadway.
In fact, had a couple more offs and then you got it.
Meet Sarah Ryman, former star of B movies who never met a nude scene she didn't like, for which I am eternally grateful. Unfortunately, she's become chased in her old age.
James is our resident Lothario.
Because of me, the women still lock their doors at night.
Because of me, James still locks his door. Bitch. Forrest Randolph, mostly stage, some TV, nominated for an Emmy once. I should warn you, I make insecure men uncomfortable. I hope that doesn't bother you, and I vote for the Tempest. Full fathom 5, thy father lies. Of his bones are coral made, those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange.
Ariel from Tempest.
I know. I'm familiar with the play.
Nice, Robert. Very evocative.
Apparently, Robert also chooses the Tempest.
Okay, why not? The Tempest it is.
What exactly do you know about the Tempest?
I know it was Shakespeare's second to last play. I know 2 of its themes are reconciliation and forgiveness. I know that it's speculated that it was his way of saying goodbye to the stage. Satisfied?
For the moment.
For those interested, we'll start auditions tomorrow here in the cafeteria, 9 a.m. Any questions? I'll be in room 405.
What? You're staying here?
Part of the program, total immersion. Plus the performances on Saturday, less than a week away.
I will not be on 24-hour call for some MFA students.
Yeah, it won't be like that.
Why can't you find a hotel?
Can't afford one. Don't worry, I'll stay out of your way.
But I am not used to be living with my director.
Didn't seem to bother you when you were doing Doll's House.
I was vulnerable then.
You were horny. But I'm afraid it's not possible. You'd have to get permission from the hospital board.
I did.
Then I imagine they told you about the curse.
Curse? What curse?
It seems as if there have been several unexpected deaths over the last few months, usually new arrivals.
That was Charlotte Addison, but now it's you.
Excuse me for saying this, but it is a nursing home.
That's what we tried to explain to the police, but I'm not sure they bought
The
it.
police?
Yes, they said it was just a routine investigation, a formality, but after we were all questioned for quite a while, we thought that, something else might be going on.
What Olivia is trying to say is that the police aren't very good actors. We think they suspect unnatural causes.
There's nothing more unnatural than a deadly curse.
Maybe someone was violently murdered here, and the victim is getting revenge. That's what happened in Seductress from the Dead.
Seductress from the dead.
One of Sarah's films. One of my favorites, by the way. Nice push shot, Sarah.
You are unbelievably vulgar.
How nice of you to notice.
We've all seen the girls drifting around in the wee hours. An old man. Rather attractive, actually.
He didn't happen to be Hamlet's father who warned you that he'd been murdered by Claudius, did he?
Cute. You can laugh all you want, but this place is cursed.
Well, I don't believe in curses.
Not even the Scottish play?
What? Macbeth? Certainly not.
You are green, aren't you?
It's just superstition.
You could say the same about religion, but with this one, the Scottish play, it's rather well documented. Even in its first performance, Shakespeare had to play Lady Macbeth because the boy who was to play her suddenly became ill and died. Get me drunk sometime. I'll give you a dozen more examples.
Maybe you shouldn't take a chance on the Swan nursing home curse. Might end up being your swan song.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm staying. I'll put this cast sheet on the bulletin board over there. Sign up for the role that you're interested in, and we'll meet here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Thanks.
The 9 residents and Heather file out. Once they're gone, Darren sits down and opens a briefcase. He takes out a small airline-sized bottle of wine and a plastic wine glass. He pours a glass full, drinks half of it, fills it up again, then takes a sip and slumps back, seemingly exhausted. Heather steps back into the room and spots him.
You don't waste much time.
It's just wine. To the bar. Want one?
No,
I'm proud.
they can't. One's advice.
Does this have anything to do with my drink?
No.
Then sure.
Never let them see you sweat. They'll pick you to pieces, like birds of prey. Not that I'm criticizing.
Horse Is that why you came back to tell me they'll peck my eyes out if they get a chance?
No, I wanted to tell you not to get discouraged, because as actors, you've got a pretty darn good work here.
You've seen them before.
Not in person, but with videos, very impressive.
That's reassuring, yes.
And one other thing,
Yeah.
no one was building.
Scene 3, Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. The cafeteria. As 7 of the residents from the waiting for wait, Olivia reveals how we're living. Heather sits in the rear, as Derek surveys the group pulling up the signage.
No one signed up on the sheet I put out, but you're all here. You don't have enough players for roles. Is there anyone else interested?
No, this is everybody. We'll have to double up or eliminate some of the spots.
Okay. Well then, the first thing we can do is go through characters to find out who wants to audition for which one.
No.
What?
Let me tell you something, Mr. Student Director. Every one of us has been in professionals, theater, films, or productions, or all three. Yes, Jessica, darling, we are all aware of your soul career.
Most of us will never do another audition as long as we live.
We're damn sure not going to change our minds for an amateur college production.
So we had a meeting last night and decided to show up.
But I'm the director. That's my decision.
Not this time.
I suggest you make the best of what you got.
Yeah, look, got less than a week. And we assume you don't want to look as if you can't control a bunch of washed up octogenarians.
I am not octogenarian.
I'm a washed up septuagenarian.
So you're the program here? You want to find another actor or something?
Okay. You obviously have me at a disadvantage and intend to exploit it. So let's just go through the characters. When I call each name, just tell me who the hell is playing each one. Prospero, the usurped Duke of Milan.
Robert Barrow.
But isn't he?
Struggling with Alzheimer's?
Yes.
But that won't affect his performance.
How could it not?
Rob, Tempest, Prospero, Act 4, Scene 1, lines 189 to 194. A devil, a born devil.
A devil, a born devil, on whose nature and nurture and never sick, on whom my pains eagerly taken, all lost, quite lost.
Right on the money, Robert, right on the money. In his day, Robert could out Shakespeare the best of them. He may have his infirmities now, as we all do, but his command of the bar will be the last to go. Any more questions?
Not for now. Prospero's daughter, Miranda. Miranda? Do we have a Miranda? But it would be nice since Miranda just happens to be one of the key characters.
Heather. Heather Barkley will be Miranda.
What? I can't do that.
Of course you can, honey. You were an English major, weren't you?
And you're sweet and naive, my friend.
It won't work. It has to be someone here.
She is here.
Oh, you said it yourself. Miranda is one of the physical characters.
Unless you want this production to be even more ludicrous than it's going to be anyway, you'll need someone who looks the part and that will do Heather.
I can't do this.
I'll coach you.
You would coach me.
Yes. I played Miranda in New York, in Stratford, and at the City. I was
I know about it. You would coach me.
Yes.
And you think I can do this?
I know you can.
Well, I suppose I can give it a try.
Perfect. I'm Miranda.
Fine. Now that you two have been able to work all that out, can we move on?
Oh, don't be so busy.
Yes, aren't you supposed to be getting your MFA to learn about theater?
Well, sure, but
Then sit back and learn, sonny boy, class in session.
may I go on?
You're the director.
Eric,
Me.
but Ariel is light, airy spirit, and you're,
In a wheelchair.
well, yeah.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but that's what we do. We act. We act like we're different than who we really are.
That should have been covered in the remedial wrong. Are you sure you're in the graduate program?
Look, all I'm saying is,
Don't worry about Helen. She'll be fine as a girl. And if I say something that's not her, it's not true.
okay. Caroline, Prospero's malicious slave.
Me.
Oh, Faye is so bitchy and resentful. She'll be perfect with this Helen.
Thanks, Forrest.
No, my pleasure.
All right, next, our young hero, Ferdinand.
You.
Me? That's impossible. I'm the director.
Renowned actor / director.
I refuse. Non-negotiable.
Want to see what will happen if you don't? Forrest, would you do the honors?
Oh, I'd be delighted, with or without my teeth.
With. Reader and Forrest up for a quick read. I'll show you the lines. First, start here with hence bashful cunning. It's a love scene, so show us your stuff.
I am your wife if you will marry me. If not, I'll die a maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
Oh, my mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage air of freedom. Here's my hand.
Uncle!
Like Lolita from the geriatric set.
Yes, that's enough. You see the problem? I mean, there's postmodernism, but this is more like post-apocalyptic.
Aren't there some young guys around here?
Just Jason, the orderly.
Well, let's try him.
But he's homophobic.
Well, I don't care if he's a Lutheran. We need a young Ferdinand, and it ain't gonna be me. Or, look, I'm the director, not an actor. The damn director. And I say we give this guy a chance.
Whatever you say, Mr. Director, I'll go get him.
Let's go through the rest of these. Gonzalo, the honest old advisor.
Forrest.
Finally, one I can almost agree with. Alonso, the gullible king of Naples.
James.
Okay? Antonio, Prospero's wicked brother.
Wallace. Let's save us some time here. Jessica is Sebastian. Sarah is Stefano, and Olivia is Trinculo.
James enters with Jason Blackman, mid-30s, scowling, an air of belligerence rough around the edges.
Hi, I'm Darren Fisher.
What's going on?
Where I'm directing a play. Should be a lot of fun. Would you like to try out for a part?
No.
Well, what if it took the place of some of your chores?
What I gotta do?
Nothing much. Just read something for us.
It ain't nothing really, is it?
Not at all. In fact, you'll be the romantic interest, the boyfriend of Heather's character.
I can get into that.
You realize you're just be acting, right? And only while we're in this room.
Yeah, sure.
Good. We start tomorrow morning. Table read in here, 9 o'clock. You can pick up a script on your way out.
Are you still planning on a matinee performance on Saturday?
Yes.
Isn't that a little ambitious?
Hey, you were the ones who bragged about being seasoned professionals. If you don't think you can handle it.
Don't worry about us. We'll be ready.
Scene 4, Wednesday morning, 2 a.m. A small room in Swan Health and Rehab, consisting of a single bed, a nightstand, a dresser, a chair, and a table. The room is dim, the only light coming from a nightlight near the adjoining bathroom. Darren sleeps in the bed. On the nightstand next to him is a half-empty 1.5-liter bottle of wine. From out of the shadows steps an unrecognizable figure who creeps toward Darren. Just as the figure nears Darren, the sound of a bottle falling over on the floor surprises the figure, who quickly turns to leave.
Hey, who's there?
Suddenly alert, he quickly reaches under his pillow and withdraws a pistol, then springs toward the door. Cautiously opening it, he glances in both directions. Obviously unable to see anything, he shuts the door, sets the gun down, and checks his wallet, which was on the nightstand. A knock on the door startles him. He quickly stashes the gun back under the pillow and opens the door to see Jason Blackman, the orderly.
Something wrong?
What would be wrong?
How would I know? Just heard you yell.
You're still on duty.
No, I'm in the room across the hall. What's going on?
I thought I saw someone in my room.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me it's some kind of curse, are you?
Don't know anything about a curse. Just know some of the geezers roam around.
Roll around? For what?
Who knows? Sometimes steal stuff. Sometimes sometimes just cause it all swirly, but not whacked out enough to be locked up at night. So you're good.
Yeah.
As Jason leaves, Darren locks the door behind him. He sits on the bed, pours a glass of wine and takes a big swig, then rises and braces a chair up against the door. Scene 5. Wednesday morning, 9:05 a.m. The cafeteria. The night actors, as well as Heather and Jason Blackman, sit around the tables and face downstage. Darren steps inside the rear door, but pauses when he hears Jason Blackman.
Should have heard it. Surprised he didn't wake up the whole joint. Help! Help! Someone's in my room.
Just for the record, as if it would make any difference, I did not yell for help.
Whatever you say.
And there was someone in my room.
Whatever you say.
Maybe you should call the gendarmes so they can come and interrogate everyone again.
All I'm saying is someone snuck into my room last night, okay?
The ghost.
Hardly. Whoever was in there knocked over a bottle.
Bottle of what?
Just a bottle.
Maybe it was the curse.
Sorry to disappoint you, but it was probably just a resident roaming around. Right, Jason?
How would I know? Can we get started? We haven't got much time.
I'd like nothing better. It wasn't me who brought it up. Let's start with Jason and Heather. See how that's going to work out. Please stand when you say your lines. Act 3, Scene 1, from line 1. We may need a line from you, Robert, okay?
Prospero. Act 3, Scene 1, Line 1.
You're Ferdinand, Jason, so you begin. There be some sports.
There be some sports are painful in their labor. Delight in them sets off some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone. This is stupid. No one talks like that. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's Shakespeare, so the language might seem a little strange at first, but it'll make some sense once you get used to it. Let's try the shorter dialogue, starting with line 22.
Oh, most dear mistress. Most dear mistress? What kind of crap is that?
Please, just read it. Anyway, try to mean it.
Whatever. The sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
Bear my log. She said bear my log.
Just read the damn lines, will you?
No precious creature. Precious creature. Precious creature? Shit, I'm out of here.
If one of you damn people says, "I told you so," I will walk out that door, and you can go back to your goddamn knitting needles or whatever it is you do to amuse yourself in this hellhole.
Ooh, so sensitive.
Yes, take it easy. No one said anything, Ferdinand.
That's right. Mom's the word, Ferdinand.
We can call you Ferdinand, can't we?
I guess, for now.
Shall we proceed?
Yeah,
From the beginning?
sure.
Since we don't have a ship's captain or boatswain, I took the liberty of writing a summary of Act 1, Scene 1 that could be narrated for the audience. We had to do that for one of my college classes once. Worked great.
Fine.
And I also eliminated a few lines of dialogue throughout the play to make it move a little faster.
Okay, why not?
You know, if you're going to take every little setback personally, you're never going to make it in the theater.
Yes. Besides, you're too old to pout.
I'm not pouting.
Sounds like you are to me.
I am not pouting, damn it!
Good, then it's official. You are not pouting. That must mean you are directing.
Okay. Okay. Starting from the beginning. Act 1, Scene 2, after Wallace's Scene 1 summary.
Excellent decision.
Miranda and Prospero.
Prospero. Act 1, Scene 2.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waves in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer, a brave vessel who had, no doubt, some noble creatures in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frightening souls within her.
Oh, be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
Amen. That was an observation. It was not a pout, it was an observation. Sorry, Roberts. Prospero. Pick it up at no harm.
No harm, I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, not knowing that I am more better than Prospero. Oh dear, I blew a line, didn't I?
You're okay. After thee, my daughter, it's who art ignorant of what thou art.
Of course. No harm, I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater follower.
Nice.
Scene 6. Wednesday afternoon, 5 p.m. The cafeteria. The last of the 9 resident actors files out and Darren sinks into a chair. Hanging back, Heather approaches him and sits down opposite, obviously exhausted.
That is grueling. Reading lines in front of these guys is intimidating. You got any of that wine left?
Thought it wasn't permitted.
New rule. Just for this afternoon.
Would Madam prefer red or white?
Madam would prefer red.
Good, because that's all we got. Sorry, no fancy plastic stemware this time, but if you extend your pinky like so, you still seem quite sophisticated.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Hope you recall, Did I make a single decision today?
You mean other than give Jason a tryout and then dump him?
Yeah, other than that.
No.
I didn't think so. You know, it's a good thing I don't have self-respect, or I might have lost it today.
Come on. It wasn't that bad. They actually did pretty well. My Miranda was anemic, but otherwise...
You were fine, and you'll be even better by Saturday. You'll be a terrific Miranda.
Well, thanks for the moral support. Whether you mean it or not.
I mean it.
And tomorrow, we'll see your Ferdinands.
God, I dread that.
Didn't you have to take acting classes for your degree?
Yeah, some. I was awful.
Then why did you stay in the program?
I don't know. Inertia. I always loved the theater. Maybe I just couldn't accept the idea that I wasn't really very good. So I try to avoid performing. That's why I prefer to direct. How about you?
English major. I wanted to be a novelist.
Any success?
Well, I had 3 novels tucked away in a drawer for the last 5 years. Does that count?
At least you tried. So you came here to work.
Yeah. After the initial disappointment, I slowly began to accept reality and figured I'd better get on with my life. And don't worry about tomorrow. You'll be fine. Everyone else will make us look good.
I hope. But you're right. They were pretty damn good.
Yeah. It's just too bad.
What's too bad?
Prospero. Robert Barrow blowing a line? He's probably not going to get any better. Who knows what'll happen by Saturday? And if you had Gregory Hiller as Prospero, wow.
You're right. He would be great. But unfortunately, like you said, I'd have to use the actors who are here. So in Swan, where you have?
But he is here.
Here. Gregory Hiller is here.
Yeah, but he's a total recluse. Hardly anyone sees him but his doctor.
I saw him perform once. He was Lear. Unbelievable.
Yeah?
Why is he a recluse?
Well, I'm not sure. And whoever knows is insane.
Can I meet him?
Probably not.
Wouldn't an orderly like Jason visit him from time to time?
Sure, but...
And don't you have the keys to all their rooms?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Don't even think about it.
But what if this is exactly what he needs? Another chance to perform.
I can't do something like that. I can't.
Let's discuss it over a little more wine.
Do you realize what would happen if I were hot? I think a little more wine's gonna help.
Scene 7. Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Gregory Hiller's room, similar to the small room in which Darren stays. The only illumination is the bathroom nightlight. After a perfunctory knock, the door eases open and Darren, wearing a Swan Health and Rehab smock, slips inside. The sound of a voice from a corner surprises him.
Who are you? Where's Jason?
Jason couldn't make it. I'm taking his shift tonight.
Why haven't I seen you before?
I'm new.
What's your name?
Darren Fisher.
And what's your position here at Swan Death Trap?
Orderly. I'm an orderly.
Liar.
What?
You heard me. I called you a liar. Let me go a step further. You're a goddamn liar.
But why would you call me a liar?
You're the guy trying to put on temps. Are you going to deny it? Or are you thinking of bluffing your way through?
No.
No. Which one no?
Neither. How did you know?
Just because I don't go out doesn't mean news doesn't come in.
Look, I feel like we got started off on the wrong foot.
You mean where you steal a room key, sneak into my room and lie to me? That foot?
Yeah, that foot.
What the hell are you doing in my room?
I need help.
You're working with Helen Larson, aren't you?
Yeah.
You need help, all right. That woman gives ball-busting, venom-spewing hellhogs a bad name.
She's not that bad.
Give her time.
Actually, she is pretty bad. But that's not why I'm here.
Then why?
I need a Prospero.
Who doesn't? We all like a magician who can destroy our enemies with the snap of a finger.
No, I need someone to play Prospero. You.
Sorry, I'm retired. Besides, Robert will do just fine.
He missed a line this afternoon.
Robert? Robert Barrow dropped the line.
Yes.
Gregory walks over to a dimly lit table, picks up a bottle of scotch, pours a drink, and downs it in one gulp.
Oh my, that's not good.
No, it's not. It could get even worse by this weekend's performance.
To hell with your performance, I'm talking about Robert, damn you. It's not good for Robert.
I'm sorry. You're right.
You have any idea what it's like to have one thing you're terrific at? This amazing power, the power of touching people, making them laugh, or cry, or think. And then one day, you can no longer do it. You know what that's like?
A little.
Bullshit. You don't have a clue.
Hey, I'm sorry about Robert. I truly am. I can tell he was great once.
Once?
Okay, still is. Sometimes. But if you really believe that actors have to perform, that applies to you too. Play Prospero.
No.
Then don't preach to me about this amazing power and the disappointment.
Despair.
Fine. Despair. The despair that comes with no longer being able to perform. Because if you won't back it up, it's just cheap rhetoric. A little self-righteous soliloquy you trot out whenever you feel sorry.
You know nothing.
Quit being so condescending. I do know. I would have done anything to be an actor. I tried. Comedies, tragedies, farces, melodramas, everything. I tried them all. And I couldn't do it.
Wanting to act and acting are two different things.
I could act. And I was damn good at it.
I'm sure. We'd all like to believe.
The few times I made it through a performance, there were standing ovations and great reviews. But I had stage fright, nausea, vomiting, sometimes almost paralyzed in the end. I couldn't get past the damn stage fright. So I know, okay? I know. So don't stand there all high and mighty and try to tell me that I don't know.
Me too.
What?
I said me too.
You too what?
Stage fright.
But you, of all people.
The first time, I thought it was overconfidence. Maybe I'd become a little too comfortable, taking it for granted. The second time, it still seemed like an aberration. It made me nervous. The third time, I was done.
You got another glass?
Gregory pours a small glass of scotch and hands it to Darren.
The flops went
Flops went.
down with it, then go.
Maybe things have changed. You might actually...
Good night, Mr. Fisher. I've had quite enough of you for this evening.
Sorry to open old wounds, Mr. Hiller.
You didn't.
Good. Because...
Some wounds never close.
I'm sorry. But it was a long time ago. Maybe you should recapture the magic.
I no longer believe in magic. Weren't you on your way out, Mr. Fisher?
Scene 8. Wednesday evening, 9 p.m. Darren's room. There's a knock on the door. Darren opens it. It's Heaven.
Come on in.
How'd it go?
Somewhere between dismal and god-awful.
Does he know that?
No. He thinks I stole the key. You won't help.
Why not?
I don't know. He kicked me out as soon as he found out why I was there. But, thanks for what you did.
Glad to help. No,
Why not?
it's too soon.
Too soon? I have one thing to say about too soon. Had we but whirled enough in time, this coyness lady were no crime, we would sit down and think which way to walk and pass out our love-long day.
Is that your standard pickup line?
No, but it's not bad.
To his coy mistress, isn't it?
Yeah. But at my back, I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity. What did you think?
No. Nice try, but no.
Then could we look at it like a rehearsal? Ferdinand and Miranda. Life imitating art, surely that has some appeal.
Sorry, but I'm not really interested in a cast romance. A fling just because we've been thrown together?
It wouldn't be like that.
Good. If you still feel that way after the performance, try again.
You're tough.
I know. I have to be dealing with this crowd. And don't worry, you'll be all right. Mr. Barrow will do fine.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
By the way,
Good night.
what do you know about the newest resident that Helen mentioned? Charlotte something or other.
Charlotte Addison, an actress, admitted about a week ago. Why?
Just looking for new recruits for the minor roles that I haven't been able to fill.
Well, she's a stage actress, all right, but I understand she isn't very responsive. Quite upset about being here.
Then I guess we'll make do with what we have. Good night.
As the door closes, Darren sits down on the bed, reaches under the pillow, takes out the pistol, and stashes it in the back of his pants. He walks to the door, eases it open, cautiously glances around, and slips out of the room. Scene 9. Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. The cafeteria. The 9 residents and Heather are present. Wallace Stedman directs Olivia as Trinculo, Sarah Ryman as Stefano, and Faye Gosselin as Caliban.
A little more animated, Olivia. You're a drunken, indignant jester who realizes that Caliban would rather serve Stefano than you. Remember the time on Love in the Afternoon when you and Gordon were in a bar, half-snockered, and you confronted him about his affair?
Oh, yes.
A little more like that.
Okay. You watched the subs?
What else was I going to do all day before a show? It was the perfect diversion, engaging and mindless. I meant that as a compliment.
Good. I'm glad you clarified it.
Well, look who's here. Glad you could join us.
Sorry, rough night.
So what was it this time? An intruder? The ghost? Or the ghost?
You've already started.
Yes, Act 3, Scene 2, line 23. Trunculo and Caliban, you want to pick it up there?
Sure.
It's all yours.
Go ahead. Thou liest.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie? Be but half a fish and half a monster.
Lo, how he mocks me! Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, what a monster
Very nice, Olivia. The line is, that a monster should be such a natural. Try it one more time from Lord Quoth.
I'll be goddamned.
Probably right, Helen. You will be goddamned.
What the hell are you doing here? Shouldn't you be cowering behind your chair in your room?
I thought I'd stop by to see how my buddy Daryl is doing.
Your buddy, huh? The director here?
Yes, we're tight.
Evidently got tight enough to know his real name. It's Darren, not Daryl.
I know that, you silly cow. I call him Daryl for a joke. Isn't that right, Daryl?
Whatever you say, Mr. Hiller.
Great. Okay.
Okay. Great.
Greg? Craig, is that really you?
Yes, old friend, it's me. How are you doing, Robert? How are you?
Much better now. You'll be Prospero.
No, Robert, that's your role. I'm just here.
Oh, you have to. I missed a line yesterday.
We've all done that. You know as well.
This was different. You know why.
Yes, but still.
Please. Please. If I were to go on and couldn't remember my lines, that would be it. The end. I know it's over. Everything. But if you play Prospero, I won't have to face that reality. At least for a while longer.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
It appears I'm your new Prospero, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Don't worry, I've played it a few times, so I should be a quick study. Well, Helen, just like old times.
Don't you try to cozy up to me, you bastard.
Are you certain this will work?
Of course. That's just Helen's unique way of saying she's thrilled to be working with me again. Isn't that right?
Go to hell.
Since we only have a couple days left, I suggest we go through the entire play. That is, if you agree, Daryl.
Yeah, that's fine. From the top.
Scene 10. Thursday afternoon, 12:30 p.m. 3 hours after the previous scene. The cafeteria.
As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free.
Nice job, everyone. It's really starting to come together. Let's break till tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
Run over his damned foot.
How in God's name have you remained single, Helen, oozing all that charm?
What's the story with those two?
I'm not sure.
Can you find out? While I still have some stomach lining left.
Scene 11. Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. Darren's room. As Darren reads and takes notes, there's a knock on the door. Opening the door, he discovers Heather.
I asked around. Apparently, they were quite an item until he had an affair with some young actress. To get even, Miss Larson had a fling, and it escalated from there.
Like how?
Mrs. Stiles said the two of them were in a word ceremony, and Mrs. Larson dumped the cob salad in Mr. Hiller's lap, and he poured a bottle of champagne on her head.
Oh, this is going to be a disaster.
Maybe not. The rehearsal went really well, and you were quite good as Ferdinand.
Not really. But you were a delightful Miranda.
I'm too self-conscious. I'm going to take Miss Larson up on her offer to help.
Listen. I was thinking about last night.
So was I.
What I did was completely inappropriate.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry.
Apology accepted.
You'll forgive me?
On one condition.
Anything.
We kiss and make up.
What? But you said a cast romance was the last thing.
New rule. A cast of romance is better than no romance at all.
She grabs him in a passionate embrace, then pulls him toward her to the bed. Her head hits the pillow, but it's not the soft landing she was expecting.
Ow! A gun? You have a gun?
Well,
Under
yes.
your pillow?
Yes,
But why?
you know, protection.
From 80-year-olds?
I just always have one.
You shouldn't have a gun in a nursing home.
It's nothing to worry about, I promise. Wait, where are you going?
I have to report this. I'm sorry. Maybe it's like you say, but these people depend on me. I just can't take a chance, especially with these suspicious deaths we've had.
What are you going to do?
Call the police. Please, don't try and stop me.
There's something you need to know. I am the police.
Act 2. Scene 1. Friday morning, 9 a.m. The cafeteria. The group is assembled, ready for rehearsal. Heather sits in the back, looking ill at ease.
Good morning, everyone. I'm afraid I have some bad news. The project, the play, has been canceled.
Canceled? What the hell does that mean?
There's been a change of plans in the drama department. My MFA project was reevaluated and rejected
Rejected? When did that happen?
last night.
The night before the performance? They canceled it on the night before the performance?
Yes, I'm sorry. I know this must be extremely disappointing. You all have worked so hard.
I should have known. You work with amateurs, what else can you expect? Get me the hell out of here, Olivia.
Sorry, Greg.
Don't you dare call me Greg.
Okay, Mr. Hiller, then. Listen, I don't have any choice.
You do have a choice. You son of a bitch. You can choose to do the play anyway, whether it's part of your damn MFA or not.
But I can't just
Do you have any idea what you did to them?
I know they were all very surprised.
You did the worst thing anyone could possibly do. You gave them hope, and then you snatched it away. They don't treat dogs like that.
Look, I understand how you feel. I do. But I've been with them for 4 days. They not only don't like me, they don't respect me.
You're the director, for Christ's sake. You're not supposed to be right. You earn it as you go. Listen carefully. I'm going to tell you what happens from here on out. I'm bringing the cast back in here.
But I told you.
Shut up! I told you that I'll tell them some bullshit about how you didn't think they wanted to work for you, and you figured maybe the best thing was to give them an out by getting out by quitting. Then you'll direct them through the next 2 rehearsals and be here for them Saturday's performance. Understand?
But you can't just have them do that.
If you don't do this, I will make your life miserable. Hell on earth. If you don't believe I'm capable of it, ask Helen. Plus, I've still got plenty of contacts on the outside who'll do whatever I ask. And if I have to come back here from the grave to beleaguer your sorry ass, I'll do that as well.
What? You're threatening me.
I damn sure am. But aside from that, do the right thing, for Christ's sake. That's all I'm asking. Do the right goddamn thing. Shall I get them now?
No,
Want me to give you 30 minutes or so to compose yourself?
no. Yeah, I guess so.
Good. You will never regret it.
Whatever you say, Mr. Hiller.
Call me Greg.
Scene 2, Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. The cafeteria. The cast is finishing the rehearsal.
As you from crimes would pardon me, let your indulgence set me free.
Wow. Great job, everybody. Really terrific. I think we're ready. One more run through tomorrow morning, and we'll be there.
Intoxicating, isn't it?
Yeah. Except for me as Ferdinand.
Don't beat yourself up over it. You're not awful.
Thanks. Just the encouragement I was looking for.
You're perfectly adequate. What more do you want?
I want to be better than adequate.
Well, we don't always get what we want, do we?
You could help me.
Please.
You don't want those people disappointed, but I can guarantee you, if I'm barely adequate, they'll be disappointed. And how do you think they'll feel if I get stage fright and blow my lines? Totally humiliated?
Sorry, I can't help you with the stage fright.
Yes, you can. You can give me some confidence.
Which may or may not help.
Why take the chance? When do you want to start? Do you want me to give you 30 minutes or so to compose yourself?
Well, Mr. Director, you seem to be developing an attitude. Very important in this business. Make it 60 minutes.
One other thing about you and Helen. Is that going to be a problem?
Don't worry about her. When the curtains go up, she'll be exactly what you want. It's only every other moment of the day that she's a ball buster.
I'm talking about both of you. There's obviously some bad chemistry there.
Good chemistry, bad chemistry, who cares? We'll be fine.
What happened?
A little presumptuous, aren't we?
No more than you.
Well, if you're asking her, back when we were together, thousands of years ago, she had an affair with my understudy. An understudy, for Christ's sake.
Perhaps she was taking the word understudy a little too literally.
Nice, nasty comment. Perhaps you'll make it after all.
I heard you had an affair first.
Helen and I are sort of like the Protestants and Catholics in Great Britain. Our conflict goes back so far, we're no longer completely sure who started it. We just keep getting even for the last decade. Anyway, not to worry. We'll make you proud. I'll meet you here in an hour.
Fair Miranda, will thou enter?
I'm confused. Last night, you say your undercover operation is compromised and you have to leave. Then, this morning, you cancel the performance.
I know.
That's not what I'm having trouble with. Suddenly, an hour later, everything's hunky-dory, and we're back on track.
What can I say? The show must go on.
Don't go all Ethel Merman on me here. What the hell happened?
Gregory Hiller happened.
Am I supposed to believe that an 83-year-old actor can back down a spry young police detective?
Yeah, that is what you're supposed to believe.
Well, I'm not sure I do. You've been playing a little too fast and loose with the truth lately.
Admit it. But I've always been in awe of Hiller, since college, so I guess to have him get in my face and blast me for screwing everyone over was more than I could withstand.
And the part about you being a drama major was true?
Yeah.
Anything else true?
Not much. Except the part about being single and wanting to go out with you.
Did you graduate?
Yeah, but I couldn't make it as an actor, so I tried directing. I barely got started when my mother got sick and I had to take care of her.
Your father passed away?
No. He just left when I was a kid. With no brothers or sisters, it was just me. I got a job as a cop to make enough money to pay for her chemo.
Oh, God. Cancer?
Yeah. It was terrible. Such suffering. I thought I was pretty tough, but toward the end I could barely watch.
Sorry. I didn't know.
How could you? Anyway, 2 months ago, when Lois Martin died unexpectedly here, her children demanded an investigation. We discovered there had been a couple of other unanticipated deaths and decided to look into the situation. I thought it had an interesting possibility mixing theater with detective work, so I suggested the play as a way to keep an eye on things. And here I am.
But you haven't found out anything?
No.
And now it's too late?
Yeah. Have you told anyone about me?
No. I ended up believing you. It's a weakness of mine.
Will you tell anyone?
I don't know. Why?
Just curious. If I'm going to be around here for another day and a half, maybe I can still turn up something.
You're incorrigible.
Yeah. Tell me about the newest resident, Charlotte Addison. How's she doing?
Not much better. Still depressed. She hardly responds to anything or anybody. Why? Why?
This is going to irritate you.
Irritate me? Or make me mad?
Make you mad. I've been slipping into her room at night to watch her.
You've been spying on her?
Watching her. Making sure nothing happens. Usually it's the newest residents who have died, and she's the newest.
But how have you gotten in?
I made a copy of the Master Key.
The one I gave you so you could talk to Mr. Hiller?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so naive!
Look, you said yourself these people depend on you to take care of them and see that nothing bad happens. That's what I'm doing too, okay?
You used me to get the key.
I know it may seem like that.
It seems like you're, I want to see you again. It's a bunch of crap.
Well, it's not. But I don't expect you to believe me. What do you know about Jason Blackman?
Our orderly? You think he has something to do with it?
I don't know. How long has he been here?
6 months?
That would be about right.
Scene 3. Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. The cafeteria. Helen, sitting in her wheelchair, is helping Heather with her lines.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. It's not working, is it?
No.
What can I do?
Quit.
Besides that,
Why don't you imagine that you've just seen our director for the first time?
what?
You know, our director, Darren, what's his name?
How would that help?
Well, you're obviously taken with
I
it.
most certainly am not.
You know, part of being an actor is being truthful to yourself. So spare me the bullshit.
Okay, I admit that at first I might have found him interesting.
Interesting. How about sexy?
All right, sexy too.
There you go. Now, try the lines again.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. Better?
Marginally. What happened?
What?
Between the two of you? What happened?
I don't know what you're talking about.
One moment you can't take your eyes off of him. The next you can't even use him to help you get through a scene. So what happened?
He deceived me.
Is he married?
I don't think so.
Gay?
No.
Fine. You can work through most anything else. Look, Miranda's young and innocent and totally amazed and delighted the first time she sees Alonso and Sebastian. Of course she remembers her first view of Ferdinand. You have to find a way to get there. Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
Well, Helen, reminiscing on when you first saw me.
What the hell do you want?
Daryl and I are going to rehearse a few scenes.
That's what we're doing, so go somewhere else.
We prefer here.
Tough, we were here first.
Well, I'm with the director. He calls the shots.
We're not moving just because you two breeze in and want the room.
I noticed you were working on scene 1 of Act 5. Not going too well, huh?
We're doing just fine, thank you. Now, kindly butt out. We can keep working.
Let's have them practice together.
What? Absolutely not. And stop trying to bully us.
Come on, Helen, don't be so damn bitchy. They'll be better if they work together, you know that. We owe it to the others to make this as good as possible. What do you say? I'll even use the P word. Please?
Okay, but if you try to railroad me even once, so help me God.
I'll be good, I promise. How about Act 3, Scene 1? Pick it up at line 32. That is, if that's okay with you, Helen.
Yeah, sure.
You look weary.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your hearts for you. Your hast to say so.
Admired Miranda, indeed the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time.
No. You two sound as if you're on a blind date. Come on, you're enraptured with each other, completely love-struck. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient long man. Helen, don't you know your line?
course, I know the lines, you bastard.
The very instant that I saw you did.
Do you love me?
Gregory gets down on one knee so he can be eye to eye with the wheelchaired Helen.
Oh, heaven, no earth, bear witness to this sound and crown what I profess. With kind event if I speak true. If hallowed, invert, what best is boding to mischief. I beyond no limit of what else to the world do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep it, but I am glad of.
My mistress, dearest, that I thus humble her.
My husband then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage air of freedom, leaves my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now, farewell, till half an hour hence.
Oh, Julia, will thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight, Romeo?
Thou exchange thy love, faithful thou, for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I wouldn't were to give again.
Would you like to have a prune juice stinger with me in the back of the room?
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, we'll go back through scene one. We'll be listening.
That was rather amazing.
Yeah, they went from The Tempest to Romeo and Juliet without batting an eye.
I mean the emotion. It almost seemed real,
I think it was real.
but I thought they couldn't stand each other.
When you two are finished jabbering, can we start? From there be some sports are painful, Daryl. This time with some goddamn passion. Right, Helen?
Absolutely.
There be some sports are painful, and their labor delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are notably undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This my means task would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead, and makes my labors pleasures.
Not bad. What do you think?
Much better.
Scene 4. Friday night, 11 p.m. Charlotte Addison's room, small like the others, with a single bed, a nightstand, a dresser, a chair, and a table. She dozes fitfully. The door eases open, and Jason Blackman slips in. As he tiptoes toward her bed, she wakes up, startled.
What? What's going on? You're drunk.
Yeah. So what?
What do you want?
Forgot a couple of room checks. Here's one. Looks okay. Don't say nothing about me coming late. You'll be sorry.
He leaves, and Charlotte nervously sips a glass of water. After a few moments, there's a faint tap on the door. Without waiting for a response, the door opens, and Horace, Wallace, Jessica, James, Sarah, Faye, and Olivia, pushing the wheelchair Helen, enter.
We hope we're not disturbing you.
No. You all welcome. I'm sorry I only have one chair.
We're fine standing, dear. If anyone gets tired, he or she can sit on the floor.
Except Forrest. The last time he sat on the floor, we had to get him up with a winch.
No, bitch.
Bitch.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Had a few wenches get me up over the years. Blondes are my favorite.
James, do you always have to be so god-awful crude? And in front of Charlotte, who we barely know. It's okay. It reminds me of backstage banter.
I know her better than you think. I saw you in the revival of Bright Spirit. You were incredible. I lusted after you for an entire year afterwards, but unfortunately our paths never crossed.
You're kind.
God's truth.
And I remember you as Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. I was so jealous.
I was never a patch on you.
You were that night.
That's as close to a compliment as you're going to get from Jessica. Better relish it.
Thank you.
I never had the good fortune to see you perform, but I Googled you. My, what a career. A lot of Noel Coward, my favorite playwright, by the way.
You just like him because he's gay.
Well, certainly doesn't hurt. I also noticed quite a bit of Shakespeare. A bunch of contemporary stuff. Broadway, off-Broadway. Very impressive. How do you have time to have a life?
That was my life. And it was wonderful. Truly wonderful. This is also very sweet of you, and I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I haven't changed my mind.
You're sure?
'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. Yes, I'm sure, and I'm ready.
Okay, we'll each give you a sleeping pill. When you're ready, take them. We'll never wake up. But if at any time you change your mind or even have second thoughts, all you have to do is say so. We'll get you to a hospital immediately.
What was your favorite role, Miss Addison?
My goodness, there were so many. Certainly, one of my favorites was Blanche Dubois in Streetcar in New York.
The closet door suddenly swings open and Darren steps into the room holding a pistol.
I heard everything. No one moved or tried to leave the room.
Good Lord, is that a gun?
Oh, he's happy to see me. Oh, sorry, I always have to complete that line.
This isn't a joke. I know what's going on here. Damn right. And you're not going to get away with it.
What the hell were you doing in her closet, you pervert?
Good question. What the hell were you doing in her closet, you pervert?
Making sure nothing bad happened to Miss Addison.
Well, nothing bad has happened to Miss Addison, so you can leave now.
That's right. Why don't you get the hell out of here?
Go study your lines.
Don't feel bad. I came out of the closet 40 years ago. It didn't go well for me at first either.
Everyone move to that side of the room.
What do you think you're going to do?
This is a serious crime. You know that?
Are you gonna call the cops? Tell them you busted in on this gang of old actors who were sitting around in a nursing home discussing theater?
I know what you were planning.
Good luck convincing the police.
I don't have to convince them. I'm a police detective.
Wow, that would explain your directing.
I don't understand. What's happening?
Don't worry, Miss Addison. You're safe now.
Charlotte's eyes grow wide. She appears distraught and reaches for the rest of the pills, but he scoops them up before she can get them.
Please, don't stop this. I beg you, don't.
I can't let you do this.
Don't you understand? I'm an actor. My whole life has been about performing. And now I'm shut up in this prison. Every waking second is unendurable. When I sleep, I dream of performing. And then, oh God, I wake up here.
What they were planning is wrong. It's against the law.
It may be against the law, but it's not wrong.
The stage was my life. It's the greatest barter system in the world. I gave the audience a performance. And if it was worthwhile, they gave me their applause and love. I can't exist without that. Please? Someone mentioned directing. Are you the director of Tempest?
I was, I suppose.
And you remember Prospero saying, "We are all such stuff as dreams are made of." And our little life is rounded with a sleep. I'm desperate for that final sleep.
I'm sorry. I
And
cannot.
Prospero's final line, "As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free." Please, please let your indulgence set me free.
I can't. If nothing else, think of these actors. They could go to prison by doing what you ask. How can you allow that?
But always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Help me. Her eyes close, and she falls asleep. Olivia takes Charlotte's hand from his and arranges it on her breast.
You can't stop us.
I have to.
Why?
Because,
it's your job?
yes, among other things.
Then get another one.
Yeah, you would always get another job. You can't get another soul.
Don't understand. I can't permit this.
He's right.
What?
He's right. We can't do this.
I thought you were for it.
I was. But Mr. Fisher makes a point. We could go to prison. And I don't want to spend my final days behind bars. You know what happens to good-looking guys in prison? Even the good-looking older guys, you become some cretin sex slave.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
But if we stop now, all we've done is give Miss Addison 2 sleeping pills, so she can get some rest after an entire day.
I agree with James. Do you realize what a trial would be like? Totally humiliating and unnerving.
I don't think any of us have the stamina to make it through such an ordeal. And I will not die in prison. I will not.
Maybe you're right. I certainly don't intend to spend my final days in disgrace.
Well then, everyone agree? Then, if Mr. Fisher will let us return to our room.
I don't know.
We realized we shouldn't have given her a couple of sleeping pills, but obviously she was distraught. A good night's sleep is the best thing for her.
That should take care of it. Then, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, everyone, the cafeteria.
Wait.
No crime has occurred here, Mr. Fisher. So unless you plan to shoot us, we're going back to our rooms now. If you have any questions, you know where to find us.
Scene 5. Saturday morning, 2 a.m. Cafeteria. Darren drinks wine straight out of the bottle on his way to becoming roaring drunk. Robert Barrow slips in without being noticed.
What are you doing?
What's it look like?
Getting drunk?
Bingo! You win a drink.
It might be more judicious to get snatched in your own room.
I don't like my room. Hate my room. Hate all the rooms.
Okay, but shouldn't you be getting some rest? The play's tomorrow.
Oh yeah. The play. The fucking play.
You seem to be in a bit of a mood, Mr. Fisher.
Something happened tonight. Almost. Bad. Real bad.
What?
Secret. All I can say is, Mr. Watson, the game's afoot.
Oh, Miss Addison.
What? You know,
Yes.
but didn't go. At least someone in this godforsaken place has some standards.
That's not it. I just don't go anymore.
Why not? You've seen one euthanasia, you've seen them all.
No, usually all will participate, so no single person will have to bear the burden.
Thoughtful.
But it won't be long until I may need their services. I don't want to make it any more difficult than it already will be.
You want them to.
I'm okay tonight, and I was all right yesterday, but it's getting worse. I made them swear that when I totally lose it, become completely bedridden, no longer able to walk, stand, sit up, or even hold up my head, only pee and crap myself, they'll pay me a midnight visit.
But it's not right.
Who says? You?
The law.
Well, then we have a bad set of laws.
You don't understand. My job is to uphold the law, prevent crime.
Isn't your mission to serve and protect? Well, perhaps you would have served Ms. Addison better by honoring her wishes and allowing her to escape from an unbearable situation.
Well, what about the protecting part?
Her dignity, Mr. Fisher. You'd be protecting her dignity. It might be easier to understand if you've ever seen someone you cared about in utter misery.
My mother.
What happened?
Cancer. Died. Terrible pain.
Remember her. before you condemn so categorically, remember her. Good night.
Scene 6. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. The cafeteria. Darren, disheveled, is sleeping stretched out across a table. A couple of empty wine bottles litter the floor. The actors, Olivia with Helen, Gregory, Forrest, Wallace, Jessica, James, Sarah Faye, and Robert, enter, talking among themselves. The sound awakens Darren, and he almost pitches to the floor as he stumbles off the top of the table.
We weren't sure you'd show up, but looks like you've got an early start.
Heather enters.
I have some bad news. Our newest resident, Charlotte Addison, passed away
What? When?
last night. Poor dear.
I saw her perform once. Truly gifted actor.
What happened?
I don't know. There's no official report yet.
Whatever it was, she's found peace.
I suggest a moment of silence. Is that okay, Darren?
Yeah, sure.
Were you familiar with her work?
No, not really.
Extraordinarily gifted.
I suggest that out of respect we forego today's final run-through. We had a top-notch rehearsal yesterday anyway, so we should be in good shape. And we'll dedicate the performance to Charlotte Addison.
What?
The performance. We'll dedicate it to Miss Addison.
You intend to go on with the play?
Of course. She would have wanted us to.
Insisted on it, really.
I know what happened. You just can't expect me to...
Bless your heart. You're obviously upset about this.
Upset?
Why don't you go and get some rest?
Yes, it'll do you good.
It'll do us all good. We can take a break and then meet up in about an hour before the performance.
Well, listen, I just can't pretend that nothing
Good
happened.
idea, Wallace. Got that, everybody? We'll meet here at 1 o'clock.
That was a little weird.
What do you mean?
The meeting. What the hell's going on? Well, didn't you go to Miss Addison's room last night?
Yes.
So what happened? Did Jason have something to do with her death?
No.
Did anyone?
Probably.
Probably. Who?
I'm not sure.
How can you not be sure? You just said you were there.
Only for a little while.
Are you going to tell me what actually happened? Or keep talking in riddles?
I'll tell you.
When?
After I quit my job.
Quit your job? But why?
It's complicated.
I'm sure of that. I need to know what's going on. These people are in my hair. If they're in danger, I have to know.
They're not in danger. At least, not like you mean.
If that's supposed to be some kind of assurance, it's not working.
Look, I'll turn in my resignation tomorrow. Meet me for lunch on Tuesday, and I'll tell you.
Everything?
Yes, everything.
Is this just a trick to ask me out?
No. Maybe. Partially. But those are the conditions.
I'll think about it.
Darren unsnaps his briefcase and takes out a small bottle of wine, screwing off the cap and taking a drink. Gregory Hiller, pushing the wheelchair Helen, enters, and Darren eyes them blankly.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay. So you were in on this too.
In on what?
Please, give me a little credit for once.
You're right. The least we can do.
You tricked me into dropping my guard, then went through with it.
Well, we are actors. Actually, Greg wasn't in on it, but I told him.
And just to put this in perspective, you don't actually know what happened. You weren't there. Miss Addison could have died a natural death. She could have overdosed on pills that she's hoarded, or a number of other possibilities. Correct?
Precisely.
I thought you two hated each other.
We've reached a truce, right, Juliet?
For the moment, Romeo. For the moment.
We met Heather in the hall. She says you're quitting the police department.
What do you expect me to do? I aided in a euthanasia.
No, you didn't.
Okay, not technically, but it happened on my watch. I should have done something.
You did do something. You inadvertently allowed a remarkable person to die with dignity.
Paint it however you like, but I have to quit.
What will you do?
I don't know.
Why don't you become a director? A real one.
Yeah, right.
Try to be serious.
I am serious. I've watched him. He's gotten better with every rehearsal. I think he could do it.
Well, I don't.
What do you think about performances?
Please.
What are you up to?
I mean it. You're the director. Critique our performances.
I'm in no mood for this.
Mood? You have to be in the right mood. A good director doesn't wait till he's in the right mood.
Well, leave him alone.
Listen, Daryl, the director. You made all this work our bony empty asses off for you, for your play. So I want to hear about our goddamn performances. And I want to hear it now.
Give it up. He's not a real director.
Unless you're too chicken shit to say anything. Is that what it is? Are you too chicken shit to say anything?
Okay! You want to know what I think? This is what I think. Your Prospero is too theatrical, too oratorical, too much in love with his own voice. The emotion is there, but the pathos isn't. He's giving up all of his godlike creative powers to become an ordinary man. It's unsettling. That bittersweet quality has to come out, particularly in the last soliloquy. There. That's what I think.
Ha! Nailed your bony empty.
And you, Caliban and Ariel are two sides of the same coin, like the body and the spirit of Prospero, or right brain, left brain. Your Ariel has a harsh edge. Sure, she wants to be released, but she's happy to be in his service, fulfilled. There's an innocence and purity in her that's lacking in your Ariel.
Touche. What'd I tell you? The kid could probably do it.
Maybe. Stranger things have happened.
If you want to give it a shot, I can make some phone calls. Let me know.
And by the way, Heather said you promised to tell her what happened if you met her for lunch.
She won't show.
Yes, she will.
Yeah, we took care of that.
I'm not even sure how much I should say.
Tell her everything that happened. What you know, what you don't know, what you suspect, everything. Don't start a relationship with a lie, like some bastards I know.
I could say the same to you.
She'll probably hate me when she hears.
I think you'll be surprised. But if she has any trouble with it, tell her to come talk to me.
Scene 7. Saturday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. The cafeteria. A group of actors, Gregory as Prospero, Heather as Miranda, Darren as Ferdinand, James as Alonzo, Forrest as Gonzalo, and Jessica as Sebastian, perform The Last of the Tempest, facing the actual theater audience.
Sir, I invite your highness in your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which, part of it, awaits with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away. The story of my life, and the particular accident gone by since I came to this isle. And in the morn, I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these dear beloved solemnize, and there retire me to my millen, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver on, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious it shall catch your royal fleet off guard. My Ariel, chick, this is thy charge. Then to the elephants be free, and fare thou well. Please you, draw near. And now my charms are all overthrown, and what strength I have, I'm gone. which is almost faint. Now it is true, I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bonds with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pieces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon me, let your indulgence set me free. Blue spot, blue spot. Your turn, you have to entertain us now.
Do we have any housewives we can just
How's that? Got more better?
Yeah.
Robert, you've lost so much weight.
Of course.
Hi, well, welcome to the talkback.
Do you have any questions for us? Okay,
You got
sir?
You all did a great job.
Thank you.
I thought everybody was just is the playwright here this evening?
The playwright is not here this evening. It is being recorded so that he'll be able to watch the whole thing.
I see.
But typically, the purpose of a talkback is a time for you guys to ask any questions that either like the director or we might be able to answer if there was anything that was unclear, if there was anything that didn't make sense to you, or if there was anything that you really liked, so that the playwright can have it in their notes for when he inevitably goes back and watches it.
Did you have any interaction with the playwright?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
He seemed very nice.
Yeah, he was, we read this play 3 times before we came in front of you tonight, and he was in the first one. I mean, he didn't really have any notes. This is the first, to my knowledge, first time this work has been read. He just wrote it, so he was hearing it probably for the first time, with different people saying his words. So, I think that alone was special for him.
He was mostly open to what our interpretations are for each character, and I think he wants to take that in before we're finding everyone down a little more. That was his intent.
Those 3 readings you had before tonight, did those occur like just today or not?
I know, it's like 10 days.
Started about a week ago.
Okay.
And the first one was not even in person, we were all on Zoom. So we could see each other's faces as we spoke lines, but that way we could all be at home in our pajamas.
Sure. You talked about things not being clear. Were they all involved in the euthanasia because they each get 1 pill per night? Okay, that's what I figured was going on, but it didn't seem to be straightforward at the time. I had to figure it out. So
That's just one thing that
That's why it comes up at the end, they say, well, maybe she hoarded all of her pills and saved them.
But Darren took the pills from her. So.
It's a great point, you know, I didn't actually think about that until you mentioned it like that. I was like, oh yeah.
Did you take all of them?
She took 2.
She took 2.
She took 2, he takes the rest out of her hands and then walks away.
So we come back at some point and give her more pills.
come back and give her prison more.
Yeah. What was his motivation to quit his job if he didn't come back and give her pills again?
Well, and typically, in a situation like that, they don't really do, you know, an elderly person passes away in their sleep, they're not doing an autopsy and like an extensive investigation, like when my grandmother passed away, they were just like, well, there's no foul play, there's nothing, they're not gonna put forth the effort of doing toxicology and things like that, so it's a crime they might actually likely get away with if, you know, this passed away or something.
I mean, the rest of the investigations that were done before Charlotte's passing were all conclusive. That's why they said they were to do the whole thing while living in there. But we never
That's a
find
good
out,
point, yes.
you know, what the conclusion was of all that.
Well, I don't think that they actually investigated all of them because they happened in the wealthy residents' kids threw a fit, and then they said, oh, there's something funny going on here now. So,
I thought it was interesting the way he weaved this very serious topic into all this crazy acting, nursing home people putting on a Shakespeare play, and then suddenly, you know, and everything has all these layered meanings. So I thought that was fun. That he did a good job with that. You know, from the very first line, Lydia quoting Blanche, and then to Charlotte quoting it when she was. I thought that was very well done.
yeah, I think it's a great play because, you know, it's, at the heart of it, it's saying like when what you love the most is what you can't do anymore, like what kind of quality of life do you have? I wish, you know, we as people had more chances to do what these people did for Charlotte. I think it was a very respectable, you know, like your line, you gave a remarkable woman a chance to die with dignity.
And then when Robert Barrow was talking about how when he is finally at that point where all you can do is that he wants to be a part of it, really, you know, it made us more than the comic characters that we are kind of most of the play.
When you first read the play individually, what was your response to it? What were your feelings? What did you think about it?
Well, let me comment on that, because in the contest Laboratory Theater puts together, I think there were over 250 submissions.
Because I sat on that committee with you.
Yeah, and I was one of the readers. I had over 30
So was
plays
I.
to read. And this was my #1 pick, because when I saw the way he merged together actors who were very experienced, had little qualms with each other, or big qualms with Helen, which is true in life. But think of the opportunity in, let's say, the retirement villages and nursing homes we have here, if people don't have an opportunity to be with somebody who understands where they came from, what they did. And so to bring them together and then give them a project, like bring up Shakespeare. And as you see, or as you heard, these are at the very beginning when they're quizzing each other on what play did this line come from. You know, that's great fun, because once you work on this medium and you memorize lines, you have those wonderful notes that you've carried on forever that you can't forget because you don't want to forget them. And so to bring them up brings back the good memories. And I thought that was put together so well. That was why I recommended this. It was my #1 choice, and I was glad it did.
And you get so very few opportunities to do Shakespeare, you know, and the way, it wasn't overwhelming, and I loved it when James comes in and he's like, what is this crap, what are we saying? And so, you know, which a lot of people are thinking, of course, too. But for me as an actress, I was like, oh God, I get to say Shakespeare lines, but you don't get to do that often.
And you could have been a log man.
I think for me, first and foremost, it's very funny. It's just a very well-written, witty play. Lots of one-liners that are memorable. The dialogue is realistic. You know, you can just picture in your mind all of these people in this nursing home talking to each other like that. And I liked kind of the little inside jokes from theater you know, certain shows mentioned and parts and things that a lot of us know about, or a lot of you maybe, and you know, as theater goers as well are involved. So there's like a lot of little Easter eggs dropped throughout the script. I thought was very clever, and it just read really well. You know, I was 5 pages in and thought, oh, this is an interesting play, and I like the mystery part of it too. You got the comedy, but there's also, you know, this intrigue of you know, residents dying, what's going on with that. You're kind of trying to figure that out as you go into Act 2. So
We could never figure out what's with all the bottles of wine.
Where does it store them?
That's one thing we would like to ask the playwright.
Yeah.
So it was a crime story, a romance, budding romance between old veterans, and then getting to put on a show.
Well, and also, you know, I sat on that committee with you and we read lots of shows. But what I also felt was like, it is about a different generation that a lot of times kids make fun of in the theater, let's be fair. And I thought it gave them some very juicy roles, and it gave that they were, you know, they're great roles, and they're, you know, they are at the end of their life, but that does, you know, like, I'm not that old, but like my kids will act like I'm incredibly old, and I'll say to them, I'm old, I'm not dead. And I really felt like that was them as well, that they were handled very respectfully by the playwright. So, you know, just the banter and stuff that was there, the love letter to Shakespeare, the love letter to theater. I think it's a really nice little show, and as I kept sharing, you can see where a lot of regional theaters would do it these access. It, you know, will speak to a lot of people in the audience.
I would love to see the production.
Yeah.
I think that when you have a show that tackles the topic of euthanasia, it's really easy to verge into preachiness or melodrama. And I think that this show does a really great job of like humanizing every single person involved in the situation before it even broaches the topic. So that way, by the time that you get to it on like page 80, you know, you're not going like, oh my gosh, like all of a sudden this happens. It's like, oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, that does seem like the natural conclusion to where this has to go. And I think that's what makes this play really special. It doesn't really treat it as much of a twist as it does like a natural conclusion.
And I think that a lot of shows that talk about euthanasia can be very dark and short in this, you know, like you said, die with dignity. They celebrated all her best moments in her life and kept it like, this is not a sad moment, this is like going out on a high note and having the ability to choose the course your life is taking, be it continue to live or not to live. You know, nobody wants to be in terrible pain or lose your whole sense of identity because Alzheimer's, you know, destroyed basically your personality and your memory. I mean, what's existing when you're just in a shell? I don't think I would want that, so.
But the most important question is, did you all have fun watching it?
Oh, yes. Couldn't you hear us?
Yeah, we got a good audience.
So one, definitely painted a beautiful, sorry, don't mind that. Beautiful picture. I definitely felt like I was there in the room, the small rooms and the open cafeteria, so thank you for that. I actually have a technical question, more on pacing. So near the beginning of the play, the director shows up and he's talking about, yes, we're putting on a Shakespeare play, show up the next morning, and then, you know, it's a Shakespeare play, show up the next morning, and we'll talk about it. Everyone shows up, it's like, okay, great, we're picking a play, okay, go ahead and show up the next morning. And then we find out later that the performance is that Saturday. Having done shows on a short timeline, I thought that was a lot of time that I was trying to reconcile with. And then later on in the show, you know, I was like, oh, well, he was a detective, so maybe, you know, he was using that time to do some detective work. But it was jarring, just that you get everyone together, just dismiss them right away. It's happened a few times. Did anyone else have questions on the pacing of the show, or, you know?
Heather, I imagine, must be particularly terrifying.
Yeah, not having experience.
Yeah, I don't think any of the other characters really would have an issue with it. Maybe Darren. But I agree that for like Heather and Darren, a week for the Tempest is wild. It's wild. Oh my god.
The rest of everyone, I mean, they are all professionals. I mean, they're all seasoned professionals. I mean, he spouts out a couple of lines and Robert stands up and spits his lines out. So I think that for the rest of us, it's a non-issue. I mean, he even suggests that we forgo the final dress rehearsal. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? We just don't oh, we don't need that. We're fine, So I think, it's for them, yeah, it's difficult, but for the rest of us, it's just like, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Although Darren was an actor, just kind of stage, so it was really just you. That was something.
Well, and I had to miss the first read through with the playwright. Was he an actor, or was he like a more tech and writer? I don't know.
We didn't really get a chance to talk to him as much.
I find sometimes playwrights and tech people that don't necessarily go through all the rehearsal process don't understand sometimes how it goes.
I think they could have made the timing a little longer.
It should have been at least 2 weeks.
Especially putting on a show like The Tempest.
Yeah,
right.
4 hours long.
Well, thinking I suppose from Darren's point of view, if he thinks all that's going to be in the cast is seasoned professionals, and he already set that timeline, boom, we're doing it next Saturday, and I've got, the 9 best, elderly actors in the world, then I guess The Tempest doesn't seem too far off.
Yeah, he really didn't want to do The Tempest. I mean, we decided that
That's
we were
true,
doing The Tempest.
yeah.
Yes, he also didn't know, he was there to investigate potential serial crimes. How's he gonna know it's gonna be wrapped up by Saturday, and then what happens when the show's over? You're gonna hang out, or do another show? So yeah, there are some questions, I guess, that need to still be tweaked.
I was kind of curious about, so there's a funny side of this question and then sort of my deeper side, but the funny part is, so all the residents of this institution are actors? How does that happen, or do we just not see the other residents?
It's an actor's retirement home.
Okay,
It's
was it
yeah.
before? I missed that,
In the
okay.
beginning, the stage, she reads the intro and it does say it, but if you're not paying it's not super.
I mean, it added to the comedy too, maybe, if I missed that. But I do find it really interesting that the theme of euthanasia is tackled sort of through this one group of people. And I'm kind of curious, would it be handled any different if it was a different group of people, if it was a more varied group of people from different professions, from different backgrounds. There's great representation in other ways. You were mentioning we get to see an age population represented really well, which I'm often get to see. But I'm just kind of the intersection of that, of actors and all this cool, and the play's really tight. There's some really good, foreboding and it all speaks to each other. But I'm just curious about that interaction, the idea of treating the theme of euthanasia through acting, as a medium,
As opposed to plumbers, right?
Yeah.
because it's already meta.
Yeah.
So and sometimes I think when we're watching this, being theater people, I get an instant connection to this.
Sure.
Oh, this makes sense to me. That one speech that Charlotte gives is very integral for reasoning why. I'm almost wondering if that can be expounded on too, maybe, because I'm wondering if it's universal enough, because I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I know that in major cities, particularly in New York, there are what's called retirement residences that have multiple entertainers, singers, dancers, actors, and musicians who live there and regularly put on shows for each other.
Well,
because once you're in the blood, you don't want to give it away.
Well, so I see what you're saying, because it's a group of actors and you're breaching this subject. I feel like most actors, and correct me if I'm wrong, have some component of empathy, because you're having to really connect with the character you're playing and step inside their shoes and live the life they're living and go through the conflicts. And so I think it's easier for someone that's like that to be able to put themselves in Charlotte's shoes and say, wow, this was me. This is basically my life too. I have these ups and downs and these amazing things, and now I'm just looking death in the face and miserable, and they could be able to definitely empathize or relate to what she's going through and say, well, we got your back. Actors are a pretty close-knit community. Usually you have to help each other out sometimes on stage and off, speak lines and stuff, so it could just be one more thing where they're doing to help out their castmate.
Well, when I read it too, I really felt like they were so arrogant that they had lost any kind of family, or maybe they chose theater over family. I didn't get the feeling that they were long in family, or people were coming to visit them, that they were really stuck with each other.
Yeah, this was their community.
Right, so, my whole thought was, she's reaching out to the people who can help her, to her theater family, for that dignity at end of life and that help, because she shouldn't have a granddaughter to call, or,
Well, it'd be better to understand, where her position is than other people. Robert being very close to that position himself, to understand, when your faculties to memorize and produce lines and emotions are taken away from you.
I do agree and find it interesting, because when we read it, really the timing of it all seemed very rushed and very odd. And so to pick up on it in a reading versus reading it, I think is maybe something the playwright maybe maybe should address. Like, there's no reason why it has to take place in that short of time.
Well, you might not even realize that's the time frame unless it's noted in the script,
Right.
I have something to add to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think Darren expected for the play to actually go through. Like, he was gonna find who was doing these killings and then stop it. So.
Right, but when you put a time on
Casey?
it, it's not that you're gonna solve it.
So, found out the playwright is an electrical engineer.
Sally, Playwright Sally is the author of over 50 books.
Yeah.
And something about cat car stoves.
Yes, he's an electrical engineer.
So what do you think on cats?
So when you mentioned plumbers, you weren't that far off. But it is an interesting comment though, because Charlotte's line, and I think that was a brilliant line, and I think you delivered it as best you could on stage, without having a pillow to clutch is what I was picturing, but that was my life. And I think it really does expand on the topic you're talking about, that how many other professions can someone be completely involved in that, it takes time away from you, you're traveling all the time, you're away from your family, it just becomes your family. Even if it is just on a regional level, or national level, or international level. Surgeons, maybe, if they can't do the things that they're doing, I'm thinking who else really identifies like that?
I think that there are other professions that open themselves up to the empathy, like nurses, I think teachers, veterinarians, people who work with the elderly or work with children, chaplains, right?
Anything where you're putting a part of yourself in it, you know what I mean?
But I think what helps with this play is that you really need something for these guys to do. And I think it's kind of hard after you retire in other professions to find the urge to want to all band together to go back and do that profession again. Ask a whole bunch of teachers after they retire if they want to go back for one last joyride, 12 of the ride. So I think using actors in this one is actually quite brilliant, because I think they're one of the few professions that don't want to give up what they do ever, and are able to do that with empathy and with the community.
I feel like that maybe it's certain people that maybe aren't in a profession that they really love or want to stay in for a long time. That can also bring up the question of, if I found myself on my deathbed and I was ill, and I look back to my life and I see that I spent all this time doing this profession, how would I feel?
Yeah.
Would I want to keep doing it? Would I want to pass away peacefully because I just can't bear to live without it? Or would I want to forget it? And would that be my motivation for leaving it?
I guess that's why they're all it's just a job. You know, when he says, look, I'm a cop, it's the law. I'm like, yeah. But you got like, they're all 50 years older than him. They're like, and you have to do it always. So, I don't know, I think it provides a good amount of perspective too.
I think even if they can't exactly relate to it, it could still stir up some questions from people who think about their own life.
Absolutely.
So you guys had fun?
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming out. We have 2 more this weekend. Tomorrow night is Mixed Messages, directed by Rick Sebastian. And then the winner is The Odyssey of Tyrone James on Saturday night. So come back, come play, and then you guys.